Wake up to reality. Nothing ever goes as planned in this accursed world. The longer you live, the more you will realize that the only things that truly exist in this reality are merely pain, suffering, and futility. Listen. Everywhere you look in this world, wherever there is light, there will always be shadows to be found as well.
What's up, guys? If you want to pay me at the end of the video, I will add my Cash App, but you don't have to. But you could if you want to, know what I'm saying? And so let's get into it. So after Izuku Midoriya has defeated Katsuki Bakugo, the whole crowd cheers at the awesome kid in the display of power. And so then Izuku, like 30 minutes later, they all get the medals. But Bakugo, he's biting on the medal. He doesn't want it. So then All Might forces it on him. And so then All Might grins. Good job, young Midoriya. Keep getting stronger and you can go somewhere. Izuku just stares at him. He really doesn't care what the #1 hero has to say. He just wants to take his medal and leave. And so then All Might frowns and puts the medal on Izuku. And he is announced the winner of the sports festival. So now Izuku is, well, they go to class and they say, you don't have class for the rest of the day. So they go home for, like for the rest of the week. And so Izuku during this is meditating. Something happened with his powers. Because the powers are merging into one. It's not normal for a demigod to have two of the big three's powers. It never happened before. And so it has to merge. Something has to equalize the both powers. And yeah. And so by the end of this week of meditating, basically, his mother's worried for him. He hasn't eaten or anything. She can hear steady breathing, but he hasn't moved ever since that same spot. And so Izuku's powers are, well, merging like I told you. And so what is a combination between water and lightning? Like, not everybody will like the choice I picked out, but I mean, what you want me to do? I could have done like it could have been thunderstorms and like it pelts you with lightning, but do you guys really want that? And so the combination of water and lightning will be my freaking phone. Okay, well, anyways, it'll be called a thunder wave. So it basically, when Izuku brings out, well, his like water or lightning, when it combines, he can say how many he wants, and he could create to up to 10 million volts. That would fry a human brain, basically. And so he can use his lightning better and his water better. Because his water, if it basically touches a person, they're goners. And like everybody knows now that if he touches them, it's over. And so yeah. And like with his trident, he can also create lightning through his trident too, but it'll be combined with the water. So it'll just shoot a stream of water at a person. So yeah. And so once Izuku is done, he goes to school, and they say, and like Aizawa says, good job to Midoriya and Bakugo and Todoroki on how they did. And he said, today we will be doing hero names. And everybody sighs of relief that it's just hero names. And so, yeah, you know what I'm saying? And so, yeah. And so Izuku thinks, what should I call myself? And so I was thinking of many names: Poseidon, Zeus. But what's the god of lightning and water? You wonder why? Because the god of lightning and water is, I don't know. It is Neptune. Yes, Izuku is King Neptune. Oh, or no, like it'll just be called Neptune. And so, are you ready? Izuku raises his hand to Midnight, who came in, and he says, I want my hero name to be Neptune, god of the sea and sky. And everybody claps. That's a wonderful name. And so, everybody chooses theirs, with Bakugo's being King of Explosion, I don't know. And so, Bakugo just stares, just like choosing to ignore Izuku. He vows to defeat him and show him who's superior next time. And so, Aizawa walks back in and says, well, you guys now get your hero, like, not your hero license, but choose who they get under for a mentorship. And so, I've been thinking, maybe Gran Torino, maybe, I don't know, Miracle, but I got a new idea for you. A new hero named Percy Jackson. He came to Japan lately, and he became a hero. And he will learn from him. And so, Izuku sees Percy Jackson, the new upcoming hero he read about, that can, like him, create water. And so then he decides to accept Percy Jackson's and smiles. I'll get tons of training with Percy Jackson. And so, yeah. And so Izuku changes his design. It's more like a Thor theme with his green, you know what I mean? It's like a King Atlas with the like what you see in the background here, with the cape and all, but more of a Thor theme. You know what I mean? So yeah. And so Izuku, he decides that he's going to, I don't know what they do next. Oh yeah, so now next day he has his mentorship. That's great, right? Yeah. So he goes to knocks on Percy Jackson's door, and Percy opens and beams. It's the kid. He smiles. And so then Percy says, great, now let's get to training. And so Izuku walks in to see the most biggest pool he's ever seen in his life. And so Percy Jackson grins. We have to train your water and lightning ability, don't we? And so, and so Izuku asks, are you sure? Last time he used his quirk, it shocked it shocked him for some reason. And there was green bolts in the water, and Percy Jackson nods and says, let's get in. Now use your quirk. And let's just say Percy Jackson gets shocked. Get it? Shocked? Yeah. Yeah, he got shocked. Yee. So, Izuku, he, with Percy, oh yeah, Percy gets out the water and says, your quirk and your Poseidon's and Zeus powers combined into that, pretty powerful. And so Izuku nods and Percy beams. Then we just got to train your water. And so then he says, right now I will be splashing water at you, and you have to control it, and I'll be going full power. And so Izuku nods, thinking it's easy. But then Percy splashes like tons tons, and like Izuku's trying to keep up with the water but can't. And so then Percy Jackson turned the water into needles, and so every time Izuku didn't make him control it, the waters turn into gravy. And so, well, you know what I mean. And so, yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Wait. Oh, yeah, he just does it. And so now, a week later of training his water ability with with the lightning, he has a better control of it. Yes, he has a better control of it. He has a better control of it. You know what I mean? His control of it is so great. I don't think you understand how great it is. And so, Izuku Midoriya is now ready. And so now they go to Hosu, and Percy hears the explosion, and so then he yells, come with me," and so then Izuku remembers his friend Lita, and says, "Wait, Percy, my friend Tenya Lita, he's chasing Stain because his brother hurt him. Can I go help him?" And so Percy Jackson reluctantly nods and thinks, reminds me of me and my friends going to find a lightning thief. He smiles. And so then Izuku runs off while Percy goes to help the city using his water, taking out the fire. That's going to up his rank. And so Izuku is gathering water as much as he can. And so then once he sees Lita, he summons his trident. Then he appears over Stain and hits him face down, even stabbing into his leg. Stain cries on in pain, and Izuku takes Lita and jumps away. Using his lightning through his body as full cowling, he looks at Stain, and so then Izuku forms lightning and water, and so then Izuku whispers, "Poseidon, Zeus, godly armor." So then Stain attacks Izuku, but this lightning and water around him, he can't hit him, and so then Izuku hits him away with the back of his palm, sending lightning through it, hitting Stain. And so then Izuku gets water and throws a water bolts at Stain, and so it's at 1,000,000 volts, shocking Stain for 1 minute. Until then, that's when Izuku knocks him out and disarms him. And so Lita looks at Izuku in amazement. He just took that guy down easily, like he's a pro. And so Native says thank you to Izuku and Tenya Lita, and eventually Percy Jackson comes back with others, and he gets taken to the police. And so since Izuku basically shocked him with a lightning bolt, that's like a scar now on Stain. Stain gets he gets the credit since he got permission to fight. And so yeah, that's just what happens. And so now, time skip. Izuku has been training with this quark a ton, and yeah, now it's the final exams. So the final exams practically go the same till his fight against All Might with Bakugo. So they picked All Might, Katsuki, and Izuku because Izuku hates All Might. Like anybody can notice that pays attention to him closely, like Nezu. And so they picked Izuku and Bakugo versus All Might. And Bakugo kind of doesn't like working with Izuku. And so, yeah. And so Izuku wants to run right ahead, went to get his revenge as much as he can against All Might. And so Bakugo actually agrees with this. And so Izuku says, Bakugo, I'm sorry. And Bakugo looks at him shocked and like, what do you mean? He says, I never cared about your feelings on how you feel. I just wanted to become a hero. Can we please be friends? He smiles at him. Bakugo thinks it has been a lot we've been through. And so Bakugo decides in a moment of not showing his pride and says, sure. And so then they run to All Might. And so they create a plan. Izuku jumps to the water tower and he just slashes it in half, gathering water in the sky. And so then you can see volts. And so then all this water creates a kinetic field around All Might. And so then the trident is with Bakugo too. Izuku can allow a person to wield his trident, but it has to be with his will. It can't be against his will. And so yeah. And so then Bakugo plants the trident right in front of All Might, who looks at him confused, but punches Bakugo away. But then Izuku jumps down with his full cowling and punches All Might with the lightning hammer in his hand. And so then tons of water and stuff, like the lightning in the water attracts to the rod of the trident and zooms down. So as Izuku takes Bakugo, jumps away, All Might gets a 10 million volts to him. And since All Might has that injury, this gives him enough time to run. But then All Might gets back up, coughing blood. And so then he says, you kids are good, but not good enough. As he runs, Izuku says, Bakugo, go. And Bakugo says no. But then Izuku uses his remaining water on the ground, creates a disc, throws Bakugo on it, and it zooms away. And so then when All Might appears, Izuku grabs his staff, then starts spinning it. And so All Might trying to punch it, but he can't hit him. And it won't cut in half. And so then Bakugo sees Izuku getting beat down. It says, I won't allow this to happen. Izuku did so much for me. How about I start repaying it? So then Katsuki Bakugo, in the moment of rage, makes what he would call the explosive god armor. But he won't be able to access this because it uses all the sweat all around his body. And so then a huge explosion happens and Bakugo rockets, hitting All Might with a big kick to the chest. So then All Might gets sent back and then he grabs Izuku and they get the win. Everybody looks in amazement. Bakugo and Deku or Izuku just work together. And so all the teachers grin. They had perfect teamwork. And so now they pass. And so now it is the time skip to it'll be the camp. Yeah, the forest camp arc thing. And so yeah. So since Izuku, it'll practically be the same till the training, like the stuff. And so they just have Izuku train in a pool, and he just keeps on controlling his power over and over again. And so yeah. And so now it's just the villain's attack. And so Izuku goes to see that kid I don't know what that little kid's name is. I forgot, to be honest. But he goes to that little kid, and he sees Muscular and hits him with his staff away and says, get back. And so then Muscular goes on to beat Izuku down bad. I mean, it's bad. He just whooped him, hit him. It's horrible. And so after this, Izuku, it's like it shakily gets up. Then he says, God armor, 100%. A huge beam of light that blinds Muscular appears over Izuku. It's a shiny silver. So then Izuku attacks Muscular with his staff and hits Muscular across the face. And then he starts striking Muscular with all his might. But then Muscular grins bloodily and says, you've gotten stronger, but not strong enough. So then Muscular hits Izuku to the ground and is about to hit the final blow. But Izuku takes his staff. He's spinning his staff. And so Muscular looks at Izuku, but then he decides to throw punches at him full power. And so then he can't. Like, what do you mean he can't, Nexus? He can't hit him. And something happened. It's his fear. The fear of a god's arrival. So then Muscular looks up, see a bearded man and a furious god on a horse. And then it's the god of the sky and the sea. Then they both throw their attacks at him. Poseidon with his sword, Zeus with his thunderbolt. He dies. With Izuku getting some more of their power, getting even more powerful. Izuku gets up. His bones healed. Body rejuvenated. Izuku has reached God mode. So, Bakugo doesn't get captured in this one actually, because once Izuku gets back up, he's able to protect him, but they're able to take Izuku. And so Izuku is like just basically getting held in a chair, but Izuku did something. So they try to take his trident away from him, and so they're able to get it out of sense, but they can't pick it up. And so right now Izuku is gathering water from the closest sea he can, and he's getting it up. It takes people forever, but Izuku finally has able to find it an hour before the heroes arrive. And so when this happens, Izuku has reached God mode. And so then a shiny light surrounds Izuku, and a beacon. People see it, and All Might grins. That's him. So as the heroes run, they arrive to see the taken UA student. I mean, no, like they do like a pizza delivery thing, but before they could kick it down, a huge wave of water and a bolt of lightning hits the place, exploding it into fire. And so then All Might walks in and sees Izuku in his godly armor. And so then All For One appears. And so All For One says, the kid didn't have a quirk. That's crazy. And All Might gets confused. And so All For One just ignores him. And so then Izuku charges off All For One and starts attacking him with all he had. And so All Might then helps Izuku attacking All For One. And so then Izuku eventually escapes, and All Might it's just All Might. He's Little Might now. And so in this one, time skip, I don't know, like, oh yeah, they go in dorms. And so now it's the mentorships thing again. And so Izuku has been training a lot, and so now Izuku will be mentored by Percy again, but Percy has been summoned by the gods, and so who now? Zeus's son, Hercules, has came back to life to train him on the lightning of Zeus. his thunderbolt. And so Hercules trained him, but then they have to go help Sir Nidai's agency, and they do. And so yeah, and so Izuku like arrives in that little area and looks to see to see this little girl falling to to a hero, but then Izuku catches her, and then he goes 1000% golly armor, and like he feels his bones cracking, breaking, but for some reason Ares' power is reversing it, and so then Izuku summons a lightning bolt and like in a staff and hits Overhaul up, and so then as he gets hit up, well, it's basically what he does in the original, basically. So yeah, but with flashes with his Poseidon sword, and so well the rest goes the same, and now it's the end.